Hello, and again, welcome to Bit Depth. I'm Santiago Ramones. Across from me is...
KaDee Bramlett.
How do we know each other?
Well, I met you in my music theory and oral skills
I think so,
classes. What year was that?
2013?
Okay, I was going to guess 12, so I was pretty close. So in those classes where we talked about fundamentals of music and basic ear training and stuff like that, I guess you were a freshman? Okay, didn't have much college coming in at that point. And then was it a semester or two? I don't remember how many semesters we were together.
I did all theory 1 through 4 and oral skills 1 through 4 and piano 1 through 4. So
great. So then it must have been your whole freshman year.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So what do you do? Or out of the many things that you do, which of these things, or list all of them, sure.
Okay. Well, my day job, I guess, is teaching at UCO in Edmond, where I teach music theory 1 and 2, oral skills 1 and 2, and applied oboe. And then whatever other random thing comes up. Occasionally, I've coached chamber music groups. I serve on committees because in the university, amongst faculty and staff, shared governance is a really important part of the way we do things. So we try to organize, and as much as it can slow things down, usually it's all for the best to do that kind of work. And I've been serving on faculty senate for almost 4 years now, and I'm term limited at the end of this semester, so I'll have to take a break at that point. But that's been really fulfilling work to get to meet faculty from other areas across campus and write proposals and resolutions that, represent the faculty. The faculty association is the term they use for that. So I do that, and I've been the chair of a committee on that for 3 years now, so that has taken some time. What else do I do on campus? Obviously do office hours and serve in that way to make sure that the students are getting what they need, and play in a couple of chamber music groups with faculty members. And so my work at UCO keeps me pretty busy. I used to teach private lessons outside of the university, especially when I was working adjunct at UCO to supplement my income and that kind of thing. I haven't been doing as much of that lately because 2013 to 2017, I worked on and completed my doctorate in oboe performance. And so that took me out of the kind of teaching private lessons off campus. And then after that, I had a sense that I had sort of worked myself to death because I had been, at that point I was, when I finished my doctorate, I was, how old? 34. And I had done nothing but work my entire life until that moment. And at that point, I had a full-time permanent position at UCO. So I knew that that wasn't going anywhere anytime soon. And the doctorate was done, so my education, my formal education essentially was finished. And I decided to strive for better, what I have begun calling life-work balance instead of work-life balance, because I think that's backwards. And so in addition to doing all the music stuff at UCO that I do and doing freelance performance off campus with ensembles like Tulsa Symphony and the Tulsa Opera and the ballet up there and the Oklahoma City Philharmonic occasionally, and then whatever random other kind of thing comes up, I decided to take up totally different activities, like triathlon, which I had never really been an athletic person before. And after 4 years working on my doctorate of essentially sitting still in the car, driving back and forth to classes between campuses, OU and UCO, and sitting to practice and sitting to read and sitting to write and, sitting in rehearsals. And, I just, I felt like I needed to move
Yeah.
to feel healthy again and to get out of my head because I'd been in my head all that time. And so May of 2017, when I finished my doctorate, I think about a week, maybe 2 after the semester, I just out of nowhere kind of decided to sign up for a triathlon. And I couldn't run for longer than about 20 seconds without feeling like I was going to die. And I couldn't swim across a pool without gasping for air and choking on water. And I knew how to ride a bike, but I wouldn't say that I was like a great bike handler. So signed up for the race and started training. And found a free training plan online and just really started at zero pretty much on all those things. And so since then, spring of 2017, running and cycling and swimming have been a big part of my routine. I've done, I don't know how many triathlons now of varying distances. And I've done half marathon, a full marathon, and training for my second. And I just really love to move. It brings a lot of balance to my life and it gets me outside, which I love. I would rather be outside than anywhere else. So that has really brought me, again, a lot of joy and has obviously helped me feel stronger and more confident because I was a beginner at something for the first time in a long time and I got through that. And I've met a lot of interesting people in the triathlon community around the city that I wouldn't have met otherwise. So it got me out of the music bubble and all that good stuff. So moving is really important. And then over the past 6 months or so, I got back into a yoga routine, which I really like.
Cool.
And started climbing.
Okay.
Indoor climbing for the first time. So again, being a beginner at something. And that was terrifying the first few times I did it, but I'm getting better. But it's just getting me to use my body in different ways to feel, strong and flexible after all of the endurance sports stuff that can really stiffen you up. But anyway, so that's what I do. I'm probably forgetting some things.
No, that's...
But,
okay, so... I'll start with music in the way that you outlined this.
Okay.
How did you first get started in music in general?
Okay. My earliest memories are of me sitting at a piano, I think probably at 3 years old or so, and just legs swinging at the piano bench and picking out, just kind of making up music on the piano at that age. And just feeling so fascinated with the sound and thinking to myself, I cannot wait until I know how to play this thing, like really do it, And like I said, that's one of my earliest memories. And so I just always gravitated toward sound and music in general. I remember, again, being really young and watching the old-fashioned cartoons with the nonstop orchestral music in the background. And being really fascinated by that and thinking, that's what I want to do. Like I want to play in an orchestra for cartoons. That was my first encounter with classical styles, And so in the house that I grew up in, I had... my parents were kind of on opposing ends of certain spectrums. My mom always has been very devout Christian, and so she was always playing and singing Christian music around the house, and like cassette tapes and that kind of thing.
Sure.
And then my dad on the other side was not really religious at all. And as far as I can remember, and he was really into like country music, blues.
Okay, yeah.
And any kind of combination of those styles. Rock, those kinds of things. And so one of his favorite artists to listen to is like Willie Nelson.
Nice.
And like the Fabulous Thunderbirds and B.B. King and, artists like that. And then some jazz, like big band type jazz, because his parents had been really into that stuff. So those were my musical styles that I listened to in the home as a kid.
Sure.
But when it came to me choosing my own kinds of music to listen to, we were restricted from listening to what was termed secular music.
Sure.
And so the choices were Christian music, once I got a little bit older, Christian music or classical music.
Sure.
So I grew up in Sulphur, Oklahoma.
Okay.
And small town. This was before internet. People had internet. And so my access to music was pretty limited. And usually if I bought a recording, it was from the clearance bin at Walmart in town. And so lucky for me, usually the stuff that was in the clearance bin that nobody wanted was the classical stuff.
Yeah.
Or like old B.B. King recordings or something like that. So so that was just the genre that I gravitated toward because I was allowed to listen to it, and so it was familiar. And so,
and little did your mom know that there's a whole bunch of non-Christian things going on in the classical music.
right. That's right. So when I was old enough to be in a music beyond general music class.
Sure.
In the 5th grade, we had this rotating class period where we spent a few weeks, like a few weeks doing home ec, they called it then, a few weeks doing art, and a few weeks doing choir, and a few weeks doing flutophone, is what they called it. This little plastic flute.
Yeah.
Very much like a recorder.
Sure.
So kind of an indestructible thing you can put in the dishwasher if you needed to, and really cheap. And I remember being so excited for that class.
Yeah.
And I remember the first day we had class. This is one of my most vivid memories. And we learned Merrily We Roll Along.
Yeah.
So, and at that time that we had these accompaniments that we could play along with on cassette tapes.
Yeah.
And so the band director who taught this class taught us how to do the little tune, Merrily We Roll Along. And he turns on the cassette tape and we start playing the tune along with the accompaniment. And I was just overwhelmed with excitement. And I remember trying not to cry in class. And of course, everyone around me is like, oh, this is so boring. This is so stupid. This melody is lame or whatever. But I was like, I'm a musician now.
Yeah.
I've made it. And so at the end of that class, however many weeks it was, the band director gave us this oral aptitude test where it was a series of tones. This is one higher or lower, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
And took the test, scored really well on it. So I've always been pretty good with pitch. And he sent letters to all the parents of kids who scored really high and said, we encourage your child to be in band if they're interested.
Sure.
And so, of course, got a letter to be in band. And I told the band director when he asked what I want to play, I said, I don't care. I just want to play.
Sure.
I'll play bass drum. I'll play trumpet. I'll play flute. Just whatever you want me to do, whatever you need, basically. And so he said, okay, then if you don't really care what you play, play the oboe. Why don't you play the oboe? And I said, okay, I can play the oboe. But I had no idea what it was.
Sure.
Never heard of it in my life. And so, again, this was before internet. And so I went home to the encyclopedia on the shelf and found the O volume, the O book, took it off the shelf, opened it up to the page that said oboe, and saw this little picture, probably 2 by 2 inch picture, black and white. Very little detail, and saw the picture of the oboe, read about it a little bit, and thought, okay, sure, I can do that. And so that's how I came to the oboe and to really the beginning of my formal training in music. Around the same time, my grandmother taught me a little bit on piano because she's always been able to play like church hymns on the piano and that kind of thing. So she was my first piano teacher. but then soon got me out of the house and taking piano lessons with someone in town, as we called it. So that was 6th grade is when I started doing all that, and been doing it ever since. So through high school band, decided I wanted to do music as a profession.
That was the next question I was going to ask.
Yeah. And I remember it was after, well, it was on a tour with the Oklahoma Youth Symphony when I was in high school. It was the summer between my 10th and 11th grade years, I think. And we went to the British Isles, and we played several concerts and spent some time in England and Scotland and Ireland. And on that trip, I had some really meaningful musical experiences with, people that I enjoyed playing with. And I thought, this is what I want to do.
Yeah.
It was just too amazing. And I remember telling my mom the first time that I wanted to be a professional musician. That's what I wanted to do. And I remember the look on her face. She looked at me wide-eyed, her jaw dropped. She said, well, what are you going to do for a living?
Yeah.
She was really concerned. And I just thought, well, I'll teach music. I'll play music.
Sure.
Like I'll do music. I don't know.
Yeah.
So anyway, came time for college, and decided to go into college as a music major. And there's a whole story with all that. But I started as music ed for a semester, and then I don't know if it was just the transition from small town dairy farm, 4-H kid, to being on campus at OU and the Pride marching band and all of that.
Yeah.
It was just very overwhelming, and I was not happy. And so second semester, I thought maybe this is not what I should be doing, and kind of lost my way for a little while, and was undecided for one semester. And then I thought, well, maybe it's the environment that it's really not for me.
Sure.
And at that point, I had a boyfriend who was going to UCO.
Okay.
And I thought, well, that seems like a nice place. I'll check it out, go audition there. And so at that point, I transferred my sophomore year to UCO and changed my major to music performance.
Yeah.
Because I was not going to be in marching band. And I was informed that if I was not in marching band, I could not be a music ed major. And so I said, fine, I won't be a music ed major.
Sure.
Of course, I had experience with marching band in high school, and then a little bit at OU, but it wasn't for me. So from then on, all my degrees have been oboe performance. And along the way, I discovered that I really enjoy music theory, and talking about music theory, and teaching music theory and ear training. And so kind of took any opportunity that I could with that, tutored a little bit in my undergrad, and took some pedagogy of music theory in my master's, and then started teaching music theory professionally as I was finishing up my master's in Arizona. So that's that. And then after that, came back to Oklahoma after being at Arizona State for a couple years, and got a job as an adjunct instructor at UCO, teaching ear training and music appreciation and those kinds of things, and then picked up music theory and oboe along the way, and then that's how I am where I am. So,
I mean, I guess there's like a weeding out process that happens through, and I'm sure you experience it, especially being at the front end of that. And then also that happens with, I think, especially even performance majors, because I think it's probably harder to kind of come out of the other side of performance and still kind of keep going unless you're the best of the best. So even through your bachelor's, and then how do you decide to do your master's? How do you decide to get your doctorate in this?
Yeah. So when I finished my undergrad, I didn't really see any other possibilities or options, or maybe I didn't even really consider anything but going into a master's program. I guess because I'd always been told, like, if you want to do this really seriously and professionally, you have to get at least the master's.
Yeah.
At least to, play in an orchestra or, be, I don't know, a highly qualified, quote unquote, instructor kind of on one-on-one, private lessons, that kind of thing. So I just went straight into a master's pretty much after I finished the undergrad. That was a very terrifying and difficult experience because I decided to go out of state for that. And I didn't have much. And I had checked out a few different teachers around the country and settled on, I say settled like wasn't the best choice. I chose where I thought was the best choice for me. And that was based on a lesson that I had with Martin Schuring at Arizona State. And he just was very blunt with me and didn't sugarcoat anything.
Sure.
And I thought, this is really what I need because my undergraduate instruction on oboe had been a little bit scattered for various reasons. And I really needed some structure. Yeah. And I thought, well, he seems to be really methodical and really strict, and it'll kind of clean up the mess that I am. And so I only had enough money to pay one application fee. And so after a lesson with him, I think maybe I sent a CD as my audition and got a letter that was like, you're accepted into the studio, but we don't have any scholarship money for you. So if, finances are a big deal, maybe you should consider other options, that sort of thing. And so I thought, well, I just got in, like just barely got in. Yeah. And he was probably hoping that I went somewhere else. Like, I don't want to deal with that. But I responded and I said, I only had enough money for one application fee and I applied for Arizona State. So I'll see you in the fall. Yeah. Basically. And my boyfriend and I moved to the Phoenix area in Arizona with a tiny U-Haul trailer and basically enough money to get there and stay in a hotel for a couple of days to try to figure out what we were doing. It was really risky because neither one of us had families that could just, send us a bunch of money to get us out of trouble if we ended up, without a place to stay or whatever. So it was a great experience in that it taught us really how to survive in a whole new place. And we had a lot of close calls. We visited a food bank or two to get by. And, once we kind of got rolling, we found some employment. I started teaching lessons. Yeah. And so I'm rambling now. I don't know how I got onto this.
No, it's okay.
But anyway, that's how I got to Arizona. Was I felt like I really needed to study with that guy, and that's where I needed to be, and it was very difficult. I had a lot of really difficult lessons with Martin, and quickly discovered all of my deficiencies in my playing, and because being an oboist and a musician was just like the only identity I had, I had a lot of kind of internal crises over all that, but made it through and survived all of that. Yeah. And so at that point, once I finished that, we kind of hung around Tempe for a little while and tried to decide what to do. And I was kind of homesick. This was late 2009 at this point. And I kind of wanted to move back home to Oklahoma to be closer to my family. And I just didn't ever really feel at home in Phoenix. It's kind of a big, sterile, impersonal city. Sorry, any friends who are listening to this who love Phoenix. But to me, that's how it felt. Yeah. So I wanted to go home. And the significant other decided that, okay, he would agree to do that. And so we came back in March of 2010. And at that time, I applied for the adjunct pool at UCO to just take whatever they needed to be done, and I would do it. And got my foot in the door and did that for, I guess, 3 years. And then it looked like what I was doing at UCO might turn into the full-time permanent thing. And I knew that if I had any chance of getting that, I was going to have to get the doctorate.
Yeah.
So that's, there was I finished my master's in 2008, late 2008. So close to 5 years between the master's and doctorate. And once it looked like professionally, like that was the next step, I started the doctorate at OU. And had basically a year done at OU on the doctorate when I applied for the full-time position at UCO. So I could say, I'm working on it, projected finish date is this time. And luckily, I already had some experience there. The other faculty knew me, and they knew that whatever I start, I'm going to finish. So there was no concern about me flaking on that. And I just kept my head down for 4 years and finished it. And then at that point was eligible really to stay on full time. And so I wasn't sure at first if I was going to get the doctorate. That was the one that was the question mark for me. Because it's such an investment, and if you're not quite sure it's going to pay off, or if you don't want to be involved in academia or really go in that direction, you don't really have to have it unless you just really want it. And that's great too, So, I remember when I was applying for that permanent position, whoever got it was basically going to have the job that I had been doing for the last 3 years.
Sure.
And so I thought, if I don't get this job, I guess I'll quit working on the doctorate because I'm suddenly going to have no income, or a lot less income. And what do I do at that point? Because I want to be in Oklahoma. What are my professional opportunities then? Sure, freelance, teach lessons, whatever. Or maybe I just go a totally different direction and sell my car and get a job at Starbucks down the street and just walk back and forth to work and then reevaluate everything. And so that was very stressful. Yeah. But it all worked out.
Sure.
So,
I guess I should ask every person with a doctorate, what was your dissertation over?
Okay.
You don't have to explain the entire thing because that would be a whole other.
The title is long enough. Yes. Everyone will be asleep by the time I get through the title. I decided to write about the elements of English pastoralism in Ralph Vaughan Williams's Concerto for Oboe and Strings.
Okay.
So, short version is everyone kind of throws around the term pastoral in, certain situations we're talking about music. Yeah. And everyone kind of nods and goes, oh yes, it's pastoral. I hear it. I know what you're talking about. But if you ask anyone to really dig much deeper than that, it's like, well, what makes it pastoral? Can you tell me? And so the oboe is often associated with pastoral music. Yeah. And it appears in music that people would call pastoral. And so I thought, I really want to dig into this and figure out what is it that makes people think pastoral when they hear something specific in a piece of music. And why is the oboe associated with that? And then specifically, I looked at the style of English pastoralism, which is its own flavor of pastoralism. So anyway, did kind of a study of all that and picked apart the score and, so you can find it online. Yeah.
I should ask why, but I need to get on to the other questions.
Okay.
So.
I'm too long-winded, I guess.
No, it's okay. But it's nice because you have a through line with everything. Okay. I guess broader, more philosophical questions about it. What makes the oboe important to you? And I mean, obviously you didn't exactly choose it. It kind of happened upon you, but you also stuck with it. So why oboe then?
Okay. That's a great question. Because as you know, not many people play it.
Yeah.
And the reason is because there are many challenges.
Yeah.
And many things can go wrong when learning how to play the instrument. So much can go wrong. So yes, the oboe kind of found me, for lack of a better way to explain it. And the reason that I stuck with it is because, as I said earlier, I'm not really one to quit things.
Sure.
And I love music so much, and talking about music and thinking about it and playing it and all those kinds of things, that it just became my tool for being a musician. And as difficult as it has been and still is to play, it's like a personality trait that led me to stick with it. It was just, I'm just not going to give up. And so it's like every day is kind of a fight with it. Sure. But it's maybe turned into less struggle on a regular basis over the years. Because I've been playing for how many years now? I tried to think of this earlier today when I was talking to someone. 25 years.
Sure.
So I think maybe I'm figuring it out. But yeah, I think it's just personality. The kind of personality that does best with oboe is, do you like challenge? Are you really good at problem solving? Are you really good at managing yourself in kind of a survival mode? Are you good with your hands? Crafting, because we have to learn to make our own reeds, which means you have to, learn how to sharpen a knife and, it's kind of like woodworking, really, in a lot of ways.
Extra musical skills that don't really have anything to do with music at all.
Right. But that can make or break your success on a daily basis.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's, I guess, just being stubborn.
Yeah.
Is the short version of the story.
Sure. What's your favorite thing about the oboe?
Well, when I first started playing it, when I was in middle school, my favorite thing about it was that it was unique. Is unique. People don't really know what it is. It's I'm not like lost in a sea of clarinet players or so that
everyone needs an oboe player.
Right. So it was like, it felt cool at first, in like the nerdiest sense. So that's what I liked about it originally. What do I like about it now? I don't even really know what to say. With my work at UCO, I'm often teaching people who are picking up the oboe for the first time because maybe they've always been a saxophone player or clarinet player or something like that. And they're really interested. They want to learn to double for, professional reasons or just out of curiosity. Yeah. And so I've got a lot of really enthusiastic students right now who play at kind of a beginning to intermediate level. And just being able to share with them all the quirks and the tricks and the secrets and the, common problems and how to survive this or that. That's really fun. Yeah. For me personally, I guess what I hate about it is what I also kind of like about it, which is the challenge. I really like to struggle and suffer for some reason.
It's the triathlons and the marathons and everything.
Yeah. So, it's definitely a love-hate.
Sure. I think that completely makes sense, though.
You're a composer. You know what I'm talking about.
Yes. Let's see. I don't know. Some of these questions are like, in a way, answered in the rest of the things you've been saying. So let me find the one that has been. So I'm struggling with it because a lot of the questions that I ask kind of apply more to a contemporary setting. Okay. And classical music has kind of a sense of removal, in a way, from the composer and the performer and the instruction is all kind of a separate thing. And so one question that I always ask is, do you separate art from the artist? But it feels as though in classical music, they're pretty separate anyways. But still, do you separate art from the artist?
What can I say about that?
Because there's the prime example of Wagner and such, but
Yeah, that's true. So maybe in that sense, no. I don't know. I'm not really sure how to answer that question. I mean, if you think about it, each work of art really has its own unique traits, right? That could only come from that artist's experience and thoughts and talents. And so in a way, it is a reflection of that person. That's if they're creating the art for their own self-expression or the art for art's sake.
Yeah.
Right? Just because I have this feeling and this thought and this idea and I want to share it. I want to get it out of my head or my gut and out there. And then whatever happens, just because I'm like compelled to create this thing. So in that case, it's, I think, difficult to separate the art from the artist. If one is creating art for more like commercial reasons, then it serves a different purpose. And so I could certainly create a piece of music or give a performance that I don't personally identify with in really any way. But it's because it's something that someone else wants or it's something that I want to sell. Right. And while there may be things that I like about it, it might not feel like me. If that makes sense. So I think maybe it depends on the intention with which the art was created. No, never really thought about that too much.
And then so two more in this realm, and then we'll get into what's something that people don't normally know about you?
People don't normally know about me. Gosh. I know myself so well, it's hard to know. I'm very introverted, which is hard to believe for someone who stands in front of people and talks a lot. It takes a lot of energy for me to interact with people. And it's not all bad, right? But it is very exhausting. So I need a lot of time to myself, just to kind of zone out. Which I think maybe why I like the triathlon stuff. Because a lot of that is done alone, you know, the training and like
you can't exactly do a marathon with someone because everyone's pace is different.
That's right. Right. And I don't typically, do my own training in groups, you know, like some people do like training groups through various organizations and that kind of thing. But I just really like to get out and run by myself. I really enjoy swimming laps for the reason that like my face is in the water and like no one can talk to me. I can't talk to anyone and it's very rhythmic in nature. And so I really do like my alone time and my space. And I've gone through periods of my life when I did have a lot of social anxiety and that it could actually like trigger migraines for me to have to get out and meet new people and that kind of thing. So I'm not in that place right now. But yeah, I really need to be by myself a lot. So, and I don't really like to be the center of attention in a group, which again is funny for someone who stands in front of groups of people and talks a lot. So as long as I'm talking about something in a group other than me, I'm okay.
I'm sorry.
Right. No. But if I'm even like at a get together with my friends, if too much of the attention is turned on me all of a sudden and I feel like on the spot, my face will turn bright red and I like get really hot. And I'm like, I don't want to talk about this anymore. Let's talk about someone else or something else. So I'm like this weird combination of things where I'm as a performer, always in front of people,
sure.
you know, but at the same time, like, don't get too close.
Right.
So
no, I think there's always a balance in that. And I think a lot of like notable performers and artists have that similar thing too. Yeah. And then what advice do you have for musicians starting out?
This is a common bit of advice that the faculty at UCO give to students who are thinking about becoming musicians. And it's, if you cannot imagine yourself doing anything else in the world, then this is what you should be doing.
Yeah.
If you think you would be happy doing anything else and still kind of doing music for fun on the side, then consider that other thing. Yeah. Because it's so hard. Yeah. It's so hard. There's so much pressure, and it's not the most lucrative thing to do. So making a living can be really difficult. And you just got to be hustling all the time, you know, to make ends meet in a lot of cases. So that's really important. It's just got to be that thing that you're compelled to do. There's just like, what else can I do? I can't do anything else but music. Then great, you're in the right place. Yeah. Beyond that, this is all assuming that, you know, you're practicing and learning your fundamentals and all that kind of thing. If you are just like mediocre at what you do, whether it's performing or teaching or whatever, the rest of it that leads to success is, you know, are you dependable? Do you show up on time? Are you prepared? Are you nice? Yeah. Right? Like, are you easy to work with? Are you good at collaborating with people? Yeah. If you're just like nice and show up on time and you're prepared, like you're going to be okay. Yeah. You're going to make it. But you'd be surprised how many people can't do that. So it's really basic stuff, you know? Yeah. Practice, show up on time, be nice, be prepared. Yeah. So those are the biggest pieces of advice that I can give. Yeah.
All right. Changing gears, and there's no good way to transition into it. Okay. What is the role of spirituality or religion in your life?
Okay. I need to drink a tea for this one.
Right.
So, if I were forced to choose a religious path or philosophical path, I would choose Buddhism.
Cool.
So that's the way of thinking that most resonates with me. Yeah. And I didn't discover it until I was, what age? I must have been 24 or so. I'd heard of it before, but never really looked into it, never really thought about it. As I said earlier, I was raised Christian. Yeah. And I was raised most of my life in one of those charismatic type churches, not Pentecostal, but a lot of similarities. And I remember once I got to around like 13 or so, it didn't really make a lot of sense to me. Sure. And went through a period in my life when I was trying to figure all that out. Because, I mean, 13, what do you know at 13? Right. I knew that I didn't like it and that it didn't feel good to me. Yeah. And over the years, until I got closer to graduating high school and becoming an adult, I got further and further away from all that.
Yeah.
But I was always still required to attend church multiple times a week. And so I did a lot of just kind of observing of all of that. And I didn't decide that I liked it anymore. And then through my undergrad, I would say that I didn't really have any sort of religious or spiritual life. It was really just survival at that point. I went through a lot all through my childhood. My dad was a drug addict, heroin addict, and meth addict, and general abuser of any sort of substance he could consume. And so that caused a lot of issues, you know. So that just kind of makes things dark. So sometimes it's hard to think about like self-actualization and fulfillment. And for some people, I mean, some people obviously are drawn closer to spiritual life in those situations. But for me, it was just like, I just got to survive. And then of course with the conflict that I felt with the religious setting that I was raised in at church, I just kind of wanted to be away from anything of that nature. Right. It's just like, I don't want, it doesn't feel right. It's icky. So yeah, through undergrad, didn't really follow anything or seek it out at all. Other things that made life difficult, which again put me in survival mode, is that I was like married and divorced. 20, I was married. 21, I was divorced. That was a very traumatic experience. And so again, just kind of like, I've just got like, where am I going to live? And, you know, how am I going to pay my rent and all that kind of thing. And then of course, through all the difficulty that came with moving to Arizona, because when I was 24, when I discovered Buddhism, I, you know, was far away from home and things were really difficult and all that. And I was going through a lot of mental illness issues, anxiety and depression and, the identity crisis I was talking about earlier with, you know, feeling like I wasn't good at my instrument and like all the growing pains that came along with that. And been through a lot of counseling, which maybe was my, it kind of took the place of some religious practices and, you know, seeking out that kind of help. So, but I remember I was just, I don't know what I was doing, just kind of Googling around or something. And I stumbled upon an excerpt of a lecture by Alan Watts, who you probably know. Have you heard of Alan Watts before?
Rings a bell.
East-West philosopher, really like famous and popular in kind of the mid 20th century. And really fun to listen to. If you haven't listened to his stuff, you should listen to it. And he was just like talking all this sense, you know, but talking about Eastern philosophy in a way that would make sense to Westerners. British guy. So understands Western culture. And he was at one point Episcopalian minister and eventually left the clergy, I guess, and dedicated his work to, as I said, presenting Eastern thought kind of in a Western package so that people could understand it. And so I stumbled upon that, and he was talking about like Hinduism and Buddhism and all that kind of thing. And I started looking into Buddhism because, as I said, he was making a lot of sense to me, this Alan Watts guy. And the reason I gravitated toward it was because the first kind of tenet of Buddhism is life is pain and suffering. And I thought, finally, someone's acknowledging this, you know, instead of like telling us to run away from it all the time. It's just like, this is what it is, you know? And so I remember like the first time I heard that, I just felt like this weight lifted. It was like, okay, now I can feel okay with like the fact that everything sucks all the time, you know, so I'd been through so much. And so I started looking into all of that. And so I got really into it for a while and read about it a lot and listened to a lot of like Dharma talks and read, you know, as many books as I could find on it and listened to lectures and podcasts and all that. And it really changed my life.
Yeah.
It really, really did. And so I wouldn't say that I think about it as much now on a regular basis, but because I was so steeped in it for a while, it kind of changed the way that my brain functions.
Yeah.
And so I still live by a lot of those ideas.
Yeah.
Even though I'm not like sitting in meditation every day and all that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know if that answers your question.
Yeah. No, that's exactly how I want the question answered, is like this rambling story about things and how you got there.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want people just tell me like, oh, I'm this, and then that's it. Like, that's exactly how I want it. What is your definition of God? If God. Yeah.
I think that's a really good question because a lot of the times the question you get is, do you believe in God?
Yeah.
And I think that's not a very good question.
Yeah. I've refined it over time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, to me, the question should start with, what is your definition? If there is one, how would you define it?
Yeah.
Because for some people, say, do you believe in God? Well, like what image of God?
One?
Yeah. So yeah, that's a good question. My definition. I don't know. It's not something that I really fret about.
Cool.
I don't, like in my gut, I don't think I really care if like a God exists or not, or what it is, if there is one. But just my kind of analytical mind would say, if I were to define what God is, if there is one, maybe just energy.
Sure.
Because everything is energy.
Yeah.
So, and it can't be created or destroyed, right?
Yeah.
So,
once you break it down.
yeah. So, that's kind of feels like a cop-out answer, but.
No, but it is an answer. It is your answer.
That's true.
And then another difficult one. And I need to find a way of asking it in a not yes or no way, but is free will an illusion? How?
I think that I don't know.
Cool.
Everything is so interconnected that it's hard to say what we choose and what we don't choose. If you think about it like, let's say a fish swimming in the ocean, right? Which, it's easy to imagine. How much of what the fish does is up to the fish, you know, because the whole ocean is like waving around the fish, right? So I think everything exists kind of in that state where we're just kind of like swept up in waves this way and that way. And so I guess there's just no way to really sort it out.
Sure.
Maybe in some ways it's an illusion, and who knows, maybe we can, I don't know,
break out,
swim against the current to go along with the metaphor. I don't know.
Yeah. I appreciate the I don't knows.
Good. I have a lot of those.
That's okay. So then with the, I guess, non-traditional forms of deities and decisions, then how do you determine what good behavior is? And I fully acknowledge the difficulty of the questions.
Yeah. I think that, the simple answer is the golden rule, basically, right?
Yeah.
So in my own life, I try to, I don't even know if I would say I try to. It's just where I always start.
Sure.
With trying to see a situation from as many angles as possible.
Yeah.
And I choose the thing that makes me feel most at peace.
Yeah.
And so that to me is how I decide what is right or wrong.
Yeah.
And sometimes along the way, getting to peace can create some conflict and some upset and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But it's how I make most of my decisions. I mean, even the little ones, like, you know, what I eat and how I interact with people, even if I don't know who they are. And, you know, it's just what makes me feel good. What do I think would create some peace or positive energy, just so that it's really selfish. So I don't have to carry around the guilt, you know? So anyway, for me, that's the answer.
Yeah.
It's what makes me feel most at peace.
Sure.
So,
Yeah, I like that a lot. How do we reduce the division? I'm also realizing, well, over time, I'm kind of realizing that the question is predicated on the fact that maybe you want to reduce the division, but that's the assumption in the question.
I think that getting people somehow to interact with and spend time with people outside of one's own bubble
Yeah.
is the quickest way to that.
Yeah.
Because we are, in so many ways, as cliche as it sounds, we're all very similar.
Yeah.
You know, and so I have many family members that, you know, if we were to only know each other in online forums and that kind of thing, we would have very little in common, you know? But when we're together and we're talking about the things that we do have in common,
Yeah.
it's really easy to get along and be happy, you know? So I think that if anyone listening to this wants to feel like they're helping to make some progress in that area, then we need to find ways to interact with people that we wouldn't normally run into in our daily lives. So whatever way you would choose to do that. So that's my answer.
Yeah. I like that a lot.
Because the closer you are with people, if you're face to face, it's a lot harder to feel separate.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Then, okay. What are you optimistic about for our future? Or the future? Yeah.
When it comes to questions like this, I guess it maybe depends on what my state of mind that day. I don't know. I have days when I think kind of a fatalistic point of view where I'm like, let's just watch this mother burn.
Yeah.
You know, like I don't really have much hope about things, but because of my Buddhist perspective, I can have a sense of peace about that at the same time,
Sure.
which sounds a little messed up if you don't know much about it. But it's just kind of accepting things as they are and trusting the big cycles in existence.
Yeah.
Which is, you know, it's the pendulum swinging back and forth, right? Things are going to be really not great for a while, and then things are going to swing back the other way and feel really amazing. And, you know, and that could be on a social level. That could be, I don't know, if you're looking at the stock market, it could be on a financial level. It could be on an environmental level or a cosmic level, right? Things are created and destroyed. It's the cycle of energy existing and changing shape.
Yeah.
So I'm not like a shoot for the stars and hope for happiness in the future.
Sure.
I'm just like, things are what they are. And if I am not contributing as far as I can see to, to the negativity, that's like the best I can do because, I can't change the state of things personally. So, but just like on a day-to-day kind of like smaller scale basis, I, am optimistic for little things, know. But on a grand scale, I don't know. It's kind of, what's the word? I can't think of the word right now. But I'm just like, it is what it is.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's okay. Which kind of goes into this next question. What makes you content?
Well, as I mentioned before, I really like to struggle and suffer. What makes me content? I would again kind of relate this to my Buddhist perspective, which is to do my best to experience things as they are when they are.
Yeah.
Whether it's a good day or a bad day, or the weather's nice or it's not, or whatever. Trying to take moments here and there when I just stop and notice what's happening, or try to really enjoy the taste of my food.
Yeah.
At a meal, the little pleasures, for lack of a better way of putting it, those make me content. I'm kind of a minimalist, and so I keep things as simple as possible in my daily life. Hence my shaved head, and I have like kind of a method or a system for everything so that things are streamlined as much as they can be. Yeah. And so keeping things simple makes me happy. So if you come to my house, I don't have a lot of stuff in my house. My office right now is a different story. It's kind of a lot of papers around, but anyway, but yeah, simplicity makes me happy, and just trying to experience, the present moment as it's happening, and feel gratitude when I can. And so, yeah.
Yeah. And then in the interest of time, skip to the last two questions.
Okay.
First, what advice do you have for people in general?
In general, I really don't know what to say about that. Maybe just like everybody just calm down.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just calm down.
I've gotten that one before.
Okay. So I'm not the only one who's thought it.
Yeah.
Just like take it easy. We're all gonna, explode in flames or whatever eventually anyway. So it's just like, try to enjoy the ride while it's happening.
Yeah. Yeah. And then most importantly, cake or pie?
Well, I don't really have much of a sweet tooth.
That's fine.
But I really like salty foods.
Cool. I don't know what would be there are savory pies. So
that's true. Then pie.
Yeah, sure. I don't know of any savory cakes, so
good point.
Sorry, cake. You lost that one.
Pie. Yeah.
Thank you for doing this with me.
Thank you.
Normally people have stuff to plug, but where can we find you and your things?
Well, I'm at UCO most of the time, teaching and doing all the things I was talking about earlier. I play with the Tulsa Symphony and the Tulsa Opera and the ballet on occasion. I'm a substitute with those ensembles, so it's not regular. So the next thing I'm doing with Tulsa Symphony is Star Wars Episode 4.
Cool.
March 14th, I think. But I think it's already sold out anyway. So
Yeah.
so that's that. So we're going to play, the orchestra is going to play the soundtrack while the film plays. Those are always really popular.
Yeah.
I'm playing Rite of Spring with the Oklahoma City Philharmonic in April, and that will be exciting and terrifying, I'm sure.
That was the one I had in mind whenever I said non-Christian things happening in classical music.
That's a good example. That's a very good example. Personally, I have a YouTube channel that's kind of in its beginning stages under Dr. KaDee Bramlett is the name of my channel. I've posted some ear training videos and some songs I've written and some random oboe reed making stuff. Yeah. And I'm on Instagram as Dr. Hotboy is the American pronunciation. So DRHAUTBOI, and hautboy is the French word for oboe. So it's kind of a play on words.
Yeah.
And that's where I post oboe specific stuff. So
cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, thank you. I'm Santiago Ramones.
I'm KaDee Bramlett.
You can find everything that I do on my website, santiagoramones.com. I make music. I have singer-songwriter stuff, composer stuff, Power Cycle stuff. Power Cycle is a experimental electronic trio that I'm in with Jonathan Edwards and Breck McGough. And we have an album that is out streaming everywhere. It's called Too Many Damn Cables. And it's kind of soon to be promoting this gig, but I've been promoting it anyways. I'm doing a jazz set at Saint Sessions on May 7th, and I'm having Opaque play with me, who is a funk fusion ensemble that I know through UCO. So, and Nelson Gonzalez, who was just on the podcast, will be playing bass on that. I always end the podcast with my 3 things. They shape my life philosophy. Those 3 things are: love never fails, it's going to be okay, I might be wrong.